Good morning, everybody. On a beautiful but cold Sunday morning, welcome to the Talent Corner with Boyan. Our first ever collab. We have someone today to share on mental health and wellness. We touched on a bit in the last video. So today we have, I literally need to say this as is, right? We have independent therapist and mental health expert. Madam, introduce yourself and let's get going.
Hi, my name is Chanel Nayang Nikolic, and I'm an independent therapist and a mental health expert. I did my varsity in Erasmus University in Rotterdam, the Netherlands.
Lovely. So we're just going to jump straight into it. What is mental health / wellness? I say wellness, she says health. It's literally the same thing. Let's just get it going.
Yeah, so mental health is the holistic approach of having your mind, body, spiritual. So mind and body, that's the physical, spiritual, as well as what happens up here. You know, all put together in accordance to have well-being. That's when well-being comes in. So holistic approach, working towards your well-being and helping you with your self-actualization. But just in a nutshell, that's what it is, and so that you can be socially functioning, and that you once you have that well-being, you don't harm yourself or other people. So
okay, cool. So I see how that now will gel into our episode, because we focus a lot on employees, organizations. So obviously, as an individual, as an employee, as someone who provides a service to an organization, I cannot divorce my mental well-being from anything, right? So what do you think then, this talk around mental wellness, mental health, issues of the mind, issues of holistic well-being are only coming to the surface now and causing a lot of noise and attention in Botswana? For the longest time, I personally believe anyway, it's been properly overlooked.
It really has, because first of all, there's been a stigma towards the whole thing, right? So when people say, oh no, so when I want mental health, they want cuckoo, and that's not the issue here. You know, people need to understand and have knowledge of what is mental health, is what I explained before when we started the video. It's just well-being. Now people know, you know when your foot is broken, you know that it's painful, like my chest is hurting, I must go to the doctor. Now what happens when the mental alignment is not all together, right? So there's that stigma that needs to end. People need to be educated more. Businesses also have to get wellness consultants into their environment as well.
100%.
And so there's the stigma, and then also there's negative reinforcements we do to ourselves, such as alcohol, right? If you are having alcoholic problems, then that could also deter you with your work practices, which will affect your work performance. So this is what the bosses are looking at. Even the bosses also have to deal with their mental health, and they could also give transference, projection onto the workers, because they're not feeling also great. So I'm just gonna
Everybody
come
else
and
must now just
get the bad side of it. So these are the things that some of the things, drugs also play a part in it, and people, you know, these things are overlooked. You know, people say, this one is illegal, that's not okay.
But we're not looking to deeper reasoning behind
underlying issues.
Okay, I think that makes sense. And also, I have this thing, you know, for the most part, there's this call around high performance. You know, you need to be a star performer, you need to produce results, which is all great and dandy, because really, as an employee, you don't just want to be waking up and coming to work and that whole, because that in itself can cause issues of mental misalignment, that whole routine. But if we're going to go with the high performance culture, you know, work and produce proper results, we also need to pay proper attention to whether people are not just physically, yes, we expect you to wake up in the morning,
be optimal,
and come perform at your optimal, but at the same time you can't overlook the fact that an individual is just beyond the physical, right? And I think maybe only now, because there's a lot of attention into it, there's a spotlight, I'd say people are only, well, I won't take away from people who have been looking into it. You know, I know a lot of organizations have very structured employee assistance programs. Some people have in-house counselors even. But for the most part, those who don't, you know, I think the time is now. And obviously, as we go along and we start, you know, embarking more on sharing about issues of mental health, then we can also put together and share ways in which to structure these and what to look out for and how to help your staff members and how you as a staff member yourself can help yourself to be mentally well in order to optimally perform.
Sure.
That's quite a mouthful, so I'm going to hand it back to you because after all you are the expert. So just in terms of from an individual perspective, what can I, Kele Boyang Hela, Kele Merikuako, ABC company, what can I just do to make sure that mentally I am okay, I'm functioning at an optimal level? Obviously, most of the time it will never be 100%.
Right.
So what are some of the signs to look out for? What are some of the channels, etc., etc.?
Okay, so a toxic workplace is what you need to look out for. A toxic workplace is characterized by an unhealthy workplace. So boiling down to punitive practices, unfair dismissals, there's actually three of them. There's three things you should look out for. There's written, and then there's verbal, and then there's visual. So you see this happening to you, you know, the unfair treatment, or you see it happening to other people, right? And you don't say it. And then there's also the written one. People could literally, like, your emails could be like super bogus, you know, and just like, do this now, da da da, not so formal as it's supposed to be. Hurtful messages, you know. And then there's also the physical. That's where now the sexual harassment also comes in. And people do actually, it escalates to where it gets aggressive.
Actually,
and
physical.
Yeah, you can get manhandled, and then it's just like, oh, okay. So there's those things to look out for. So once you are aware and you realize that these are the things happening, it's good for you to reach out. First of all, if it's a legal matter, obviously go to labor, go to the legal officials to assist you with that. And then once it gets to your mental, you reach out for help, right?
Definitely.
Talk about your feelings. Help you stay in good mental health space, because like you said, you have to be optimal. Your work performance gets looked at, so you yourself have to rejuvenate yourself every morning to be able to show results, right? Keep active. Botswana, you know, I see it, it's actually upcoming. We're upcoming.
Keep at it, guys.
We
Keep at it.
exercised this morning, so yay. So yeah, it's not a lie, it really happened. So yeah,
We really did.
keep active. Change your routine, right? Because sometimes things just come monotone, and then you know you become sluggish now. When you wake up, it's like, oh, I gotta do this. You're dragging yourself. Literally add a skip to your beat in the day and
Spice it up. Just change the routine a bit.
Affirmations, you know, to say good things to yourself. I'm gonna kill it today at work, and I'm just going to be amazing, and I'm going to
Positive.
just deliver, just gun it, right? Positive vibe. Eat well. Diet also plays a big part, because it also affects the physical, mind and body. They work together. And as well as if you go and see a mental health expert or therapist, they will give you coping strategies, and that will be more aligned to your individual type of what you need to be proper.
So I think one big one that I want to highlight is just the actual seeking assistance from a mental health expert, right? A big thing that I've noticed is a lot of people, because of confidentiality issues, and like we already mentioned, there's issues of stigma. So in the workplace, you don't want to be labeled as that person, a therapist or our problem child or whatever. So I think for the most part, organizations who are or who already have set up such avenues like employee assistance programs need to highlight the need for it to be highly confidential, right? If it's going to be, say for example, manned from HR needs to make sure that for the most part there's no leakages. If you're going to be linking someone to a therapist, then rather use their payroll number or employee number, as opposed to it being boyang and then the likelihood of people
And
finding
Boyang
out.
is just gonna be like,
Yes.
I'll handle
Also,
it next
just
week. Yeah.
preach for it to just be part of the culture. Preach for it to be
Definitely.
normal how we do things around here. You know, an
Yeah.
organization that focuses on mental health, just the same way we focus on making sure that everybody's well paid. Just for
Yeah.
it to just become
It
the
should
the
be
norm. Yes.
institutionalized. It should be a
Institutionalize
norm.
it so that it doesn't become, I'm scared, I don't want to, I'm going to be
Right.
bottling up things, I don't
And
want to
that will,
approach.
that will also help with learning, you know, because you
100%.
need to learn mental health. We
100%,
all need to
100%.
relearn it as Batswana, and just to understand what it means, you know, because it is important. I think by now, given the pandemic we're going through,
Yeah,
this is what
100%.
also has spiked these things to come up and for us to be talking about it so much more. But there's no point talking about something if you don't get it,
100%.
and then so be involved. So the companies could remember back in the days where they'd play tapes for
Yes.
HR would play tapes. And it's
We
like,
don't do that
we
anymore,
don't
but
do
the
that.
concept still remains.
I think it
100%
remains, you know, they need to
100%
just,
remains.
you know, get everybody together and then be like, this is what
This is the
harassment is at work. This is what you
Instill
do.
it.
Instill it, you know, so that everybody gets it. It gets everybody talking even after those seminars and
Yeah.
so forth. And we don't need to just be going to workshops for the food, right? So, yeah.
Also, because Corona's here, we don't really physically go to workshops anymore, so the food
We
element
don't.
is kind of
We don't.
gone.
Right.
But like on a serious tip, the whole point why I think we're going to be focusing a lot on this topic is, you know, as an organization, obviously you're there for a reason.
Right.
You don't just exist for
Yeah.
the sake of existing, right? But up until maybe we get to a point where we're fully automated and there's like robots everywhere, we're going to have to focus on issues of mental health.
Yes.
Because, you know, the realities of today are evident. You know, a
Exactly.
person is a person. You're at work.
The suicide
probably-
rates are up.
The
and-
numbers speak for themselves. You're at
Depression
work
is
8
nothing.
hours of your day. That is like a proper contribution. You're literally probably even more at work than at home.
Yeah.
Spending your time.
And
So-
that takes away from looking out for
Yeah.
your children and
Exactly.
so forth. And having to speak about that, carrying over work issues to the home base, right? That means that you're lashing out at your children, you're lashing out at your partner, like everybody's just getting the wrong end of the stick from you. And
or
then
you're just not fully there.
you're not fully
You
there.
know, you're not fully there.
Exactly.
I'll just give an example. When I struggled with issues of mental health, once upon a time, you literally are always on edge, right? You don't enjoy the things that you used to
Right,
enjoy anymore.
right.
You don't even have. I don't even have time for you. You
Yeah.
don't have time for your friends. You don't have time for the things that you like. You're always on edge. You're always anxious, and obviously that's where now the toxic mental
Yeah.
behaviors that we talked about, or coping mechanisms
isolate
that you talked
yourself,
about,
yeah.
come in. You isolate yourself. You look at too much, you know. So the more these things get talked about, the more organizations highlight these issues and put proper budgets in place to address them, then we're off to a great
start.
And everybody in the background clearly agrees.
We're looking out for everybody's mental health.
So I think maybe just to wrap it up, you can share with us some of the channels that are available right now, that people can look into to get assistance with regards to their mental health.
Right. That would be a whole long list to give. So I'll just shorten it with, you can check me on LinkedIn. I am Chanel Naya Munyere Nikolic. And on my Facebook, I am Chanel Nikolic, Nikolic. And the Chanel is SHANEL. But it will be on the screen. I've always wanted to do that.
It will
And my number is +267 76 236 235. And that's the WhatsApp number, and you can get me in +267 7520 7081, and you could give us a call, and then necessary referrals will be made from then onwards. I am willing to listen as well.
Perfecto. I am just Weyang Mufahote.
The best.
Thank you so
The
much
host
for tuning
with the
in.
most.
I am looking forward to having so many more of these engagements, and I hope you guys will comment, obviously subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and we will be seeing you very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.